So there's 12 techniques in this book. I'm going to highlight number 6 today. Um, because if you're dealing with a difficult divorce, sometimes when you do a telephoto lens and there's warring parties, oftentimes I was taught to try to expand your lens or do a wide angle. And the case example I'm going to show you today, that often unsticks a stuck system where you bring in grandparents, aunts, or uncles because they can become co-therapists, or in some cases, they're the ones that are actually causing the ruckus from behind the scenes. I used to have kids tell me all the time, I don't really have to listen to my parents because if I call my grandparents, they actually take my side over them. And when they're not talking to each other, I can easily divide and conquer. So sometimes the extended family are actually part of the problem as well as the solution. The problem is that I was so scared to work with divorced families because if I did bring them in, they hated each other. My stomach would get in knots. I would get deregulated. I'm like saying to myself, I don't have any tools to deal with this. And I lost control of the session probably in the first 5 minutes. Then when I tried to add grandparents, aunts or uncles or neighbors, then it even got more complicated because it was often the first time that they were defending their son or their daughter. And so I knew intuitively as a social worker, I had to have a goodness of fit between person and environment, but nobody gave me any tools in graduate school. So guess what? I had no confidence, and with no confidence, I did what was most comfortable. So in my early years, my difficult divorce was whoever showed up in my office. And even though I knew that if I only worked with one part of the family, that relapse would be imminent, I was too scared to even do anything. So I'm going to teach you from my mistakes so that you don't have to wait 15, 20 years to come up with some solutions. So I went back to the drawing board and I guess you could say I did it afraid. So I'm going to show you step by step how to not only engage the spouses or significant others or boyfriends and girlfriends who are at each other's throat, but what it's like to engage the extended family. That's in some cases a must have. So there's 3 phases to the model. If you enjoy today's talk, I'm going to talk at the very end about how you can go deeper and learn all of these tools. So phase 1 is building high rapport with the motivational interview that we do that's different than the traditional one. We go through the stress chart in phase 1 and the apple tree diagram and undercurrents. So in phase 1, whether we work with individuals, couples, or families, we want to build high rapport and we want to help them locate the root causes of the trauma.